This is Spoil It. The movie I'm talking about is The Order. 2024. It's with Jude Law. He plays the FBI guy, the classic, gritty, won't play by anybody's rules and won't shower. That kind of guy, right? And then we got Beast from X-Men and Cyclops from X-Men. So Beast is running this supremacy group called The Order, which apparently was a real thing. And Beast is running this splinter group, and they used to be part of this, I guess, this cult, this church, with a very hateful pastor. And then Cyclops is also an FBI guy, and he's married to some half Jew, half Latino, right? So he's got a dog in this fight. Anyway, I'm pretty sure he dies, and it's a very sad thing. But anyway, so the movie starts off. They're doing bank robberies, right? They're getting money, they're getting funds, they're buying some guns. And they start escalating things, right? So they end up, the Order here, Beast, they end up blowing up this porno theater, right? It's like, oh no, what a tragedy. Where are all the perverts gonna jerk off, right? Oh, very sad. So anyway, that aside, they keep doing worse and worse things. And, the hateful pastor comes to him even and says, hey, dude, you're going off the deep end here. You gotta cool down. And Beast is like, no, you need to man up. You're not going far enough. I'm tired of waiting for you to get people in office. I want people to listen now. And we've all been there. We all want people to listen to us, right? So we all can kind of identify with that. But then Beast goes a little too far. He and a couple of his cronies, they go and they kill this Jew. So this Jew is this radio host who obviously has an opposing view to these fellas. So, anyway, Beast sends a few guys, right? So a couple guys, and they shoot this Jew like 9 times. Bang, 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 right? And obviously they shoot him a bunch of times because, there was that one Jew that came back that one time, right? So try to make sure that doesn't happen again. So it seems like overkill, but this is a Jew after all, right? So you never know. Might come back. Anyway, so it seemed like a decent film. I went to see it with my wife the other day, and it was okay. Nice, brutal history, right? Like most history, just pretty sad and gruesome. And we wish it didn't go that way, but it did, right? So it's based on a book, based on events. And it basically ends with Beast getting burned alive, right? Oh, horrible tragedy, right? Yeah. So yeah, a lot of death, a lot of mayhem, racial talk. And they kind of zero in on this book. It's a diary by some guy named Turner. I'd never heard of it until the movie, but anyway, they kind of keep going back to it. Like, oh, all this stuff is because of this book by this hateful pastor, right? I'm like, okay, fair enough. They have their own book. Every group seems to have some sort of book or propaganda that they kind of turn to, right? So anyway, it seemed okay, despite all the blood and the swearing and the racial talk and the killing and the blowing things up, and it's a typical Hollywood film. But then at the end, they just had to do it. They ruined it with this one line, that when the credits are coming, they put those lines at the end where they're trying to have you read something. Anyway, it's kind of social programming. And it's just blatant propaganda. So what it says is it basically says that the events in the film and that book are basically also what inspired the events on January 6, 2021 in Washington, which of course we all know is absolute nonsense, right? Like anybody that's watched the videos seen that they were let in. I'm not here to argue what happened, but as far as I can tell, everybody in January 2021 there in Washington were mostly just freedom-loving Americans that didn't want their election stolen, which it was. But to equate that, that event to the stuff in this movie, that's incredibly dishonest, and you can tell it's a sort of a woke social programming. So anyway, aside from that, it was a decent film. So I wouldn't recommend anybody spend any money on it, but if you do want to watch it, once it's available, go ahead. But just remember the last line is there to make you think a certain way. So, yeah, I guess to sum up my recommendation, skip it.